Welcome to Macey's Cooking Corner. I'm your host, Afro Danes, and today we have Nancy Larsen, and she's going to be cooking some Mexican food. Now, Nancy does originate or has family coming from Mexico. Is that correct?
That's true. My mom and dad are from Mexico, and they came to the United States after they got married, and we were all born here. I'm the youngest of 9 children.
Wow, so, 9 children. Yeah. Did you go on to have 9 children too?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you did?
I stopped at 5, and I'm okay with that.
Are you? Yes, I stopped at 4, and I'm very happy with that, actually. Wonderful. So today, what are you going to be cooking?
So I'm going to be cooking some Mexican rice and also some enchiladas.
Oh, very nice. From scratch?
Well, not from scratch because I'm a California girl, so we do everything by the can and what's easiest. And I'm also a working mom, so I think whatever easiest and quick works for me. And
one thing I do love about Nancy, so she went back to school to do, what did you do?
So I'm a social worker, and I'm a therapist at the Utah Therapy for Anxiety Disorders. And so I just love it. You know, I love what I do and working with people and helping them.
What made you decide to go back? I mean, I know you look young. Question. You look young.
Thank
she
you.
does, you know, but you've had your 5 children and they're older, and you decided to, I mean, how long did it take?
It took about 6.5 years. I had already had my AA when I actually went back to school.
AA?
My associate's degree.
Okay.
I had gotten when I was, I think, 20. And I luckily, all my requirements were able to carry over when I started back in school when I was about 37. So it was a little bit longer than your normal, you know, traditional student, but I was really happy that I could do that.
It's fantastic, you know.
Thanks.
Us women were amazing, don't you think?
Yes, I do.
I think we're amazing. And your daughter's just come back from, where did she go?
She served an LDS mission in Puebla North Mission. And yeah, she just got back and she's engaged and ready to be married in a month.
Amazing. Doing it the LDS way.
That's right.
Which is a good thing. Anyway, so what are you going to start off with?
Well, I'm going to start off with cooking the rice.
Okay.
Because that'll take a little longer. That should take about 20 minutes once we get it going.
Okay.
So I am going to start with this pot here, and I want to heat up some oil.
Oh, so you're using oil. Now, I noticed... What kind of oil is this?
Oh, I just use corn oil.
Okay.
Because it's just kind of everything that I use is pretty much what my mom showed me how to cook, and so I kind of just brought some and put some in that bottle.
I like that. So this is what she used, corn oil. Okay,
yeah.
I like that. Okay.
So I need to turn this on.
Oh, okay. So, our lovely oven.
Oh, there we go.
Stove here, you turn it right round and then.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you. So I'm just going to put some of this oil in here and get that heated up.
Do you use water or?
I use water because I'm cooking rice, and it's a 1-to-2 ratio. So for every cup of rice, I use 2 cups of water. And in this recipe, I'm going to use 2 cups of rice and 4 cups of water. But first, I want to take the onion here and the bell pepper, and I want to saute them a little bit in the oil. So I'm going to go ahead. I've already pre-cut them, and it's just wedges.
Chop it. Yeah.
I didn't chop it because in my family, I have some members of my family that don't like onions, and so I kind of just do it this way. That way it gives it the flavor of the bell pepper and the onion in the rice, but they're not chewing up these small pieces of onion that they don't like. So
are you going to take them out? Or?
No, I'll just leave them in because it looks pretty in the rice.
Right.
But I'll just leave them in, and then that way they can pull them out, or we can just kind of skirt around them as we're serving 1 or 2 of the members.
I like that.
Yeah, so I'm just going to let these.
Okay.
And so the oil here is just kind of covering the pan here. So, and then we just let that heat up there. I'm going to just turn this up a little bit. Okay, nice. And then in just a second, we're going to add these 2 cups of rice. And again, I pre-measured, so it's just long grain rice. Again,
not brown rice?
No, not really. Because, again, my mom just taught me how to do this. Not everyone likes the flavor of brown rice.
And it takes longer.
It does, and I know it's the healthier version, but I figure if I'm putting oil in it, I've kind of just taken off the healthier version. So I might as well just
go all the way.
That's right, that's right. And as you'll see, like with my enchiladas, the same.
Right.
So I'm just go ahead and put that in there.
Okay.
And so that's going to take a few minutes. So
you're going to warm it up, stir it up.
Right, and I just stir it, and it'll start to brown. And again, the bell peppers and the onions give it kind of that flavor, you know, that adds into the Mexican rice, so it's really nice. And so I'm just going to brown this.
I like that.
My mom, when I was a kid, she would always have a pot of rice for us when we came home from school, and so that was our treat. It wasn't like gummy bears or anything like that. It was a pot of Mexican rice, and we would just have a bowl of that, and we just loved it. So kind of, you know, near and dear to my heart, and something that I make for my own kids now.
And they love it?
They do. They love it. They actually love it better than white rice, which, I mean, there's a difference in the two, but they definitely love it better, and it's so easy to make. I mean, really.
That's
so
good. I like that. Why not?
Yeah. So meanwhile, this is browning. I'm going to go ahead and open this tomato sauce here.
Okay.
Pass me that. Thank you.
So can you use, like, you know, there's tomatoes are on now, you know, in the gardens and stuff. Can you just use your own tomatoes, blend them up and use them, or?
Sure, as long as they're blended up. I mean, you don't want chunks in there because it's more of a sauce just to coat the rice.
Right.
But absolutely, if you've got some fresh tomatoes, even better.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So we're going to use half of this can. Now, everyone's different because some people like their rice really red.
Right.
So like even in my own family with my siblings, when we come for a family party, some of them have red rice.
Right.
That's kind of a lot of tomato. But for myself, I'm doing 2 cups or less. I'll use half of this 8-ounce can. Right. And if I'm using 3 cups or more, which I probably wouldn't recommend with this recipe, if you wanted to double it, to 4 cups of rice, that would be okay. Right. And then I'd use the whole can. But because I'm only doing 2 cups of rice, I'm just going to use half the can. Right. And again, if you were to throw it all in, it wouldn't hurt it. It'd just be more tomatoey. And that's just a matter of preference and the flavor. So, yeah.
Nice. I like that. Because African cooking, we use a lot of tomatoes. And so, and tomato paste. And so I was wondering what the ratio would be, you know?
Yeah. So actually, we Hispanic culture, there's a lot of tomatoes as well. So.
Tomato stews, we do soups, so we use a lot of tomatoes.
Yeah. Tomatoes, I
love
that.
Yes, we're doing tomatoes and potatoes today.
This still needs a minute or 2 to brown, but you want to keep stirring it because you don't want it to stick or burn. So just kind of giving it a stir here and there. Keeps it from doing that.
So do you get to go back? Have you gone back? Do you have any family there now?
Well, I've never been to the heart of Mexico. See, my dad's from Monterrey, and my mom is from Chihuahua, Las Colonias. And so I've never been there, but I did have an uncle that lived in Tijuana, which is on the border of San Diego. And so we went there quite often as a child, and I loved it. And they have like tortillerias, which are the tortilla making places, the little factories, and they'd give you like a dozen of tortillas and you wrap it in butcher paper, and it was so warm and they were so good. You just roll them up and eat them just fresh like that. Oh, so yummy. Wow. But I loved going to see my uncle and my aunt, and I had 2 cousins as well. But then my uncle passed away, and then I think I was about, maybe 10 or 11, and then we stopped going after a while, so it's kind of sad.
And with your children, have they gone back?
They haven't. I haven't taken them. I haven't taken them.
When we went to Africa, I just realized how important it is.
Yeah.
I think, well, first of all, my children were thinking that they only had one set of grandparents, and that's when I realized, no, you don't. And so, you know, for them to see their grandparents on my side and their aunties and uncles, I felt it was really important. So.
Well, also just to see the culture too.
And see the culture, which was a bit of a shock, but you know.
I bet. How fun is that, though?
Yeah, it was really good. And it was funny because the thing they talked about the most was there was no AC.
Oh,
really, it's so hot. And I was like, this is it. This is life. I loved it. Anyway, so, yeah, I think that's been really important to me, you know, for them to see the different cultures that there are. So anyway, so maybe for your daughter who's just returned, you know, maybe she'd want to go back.
Yeah, she might. I'm pretty sure she just loved her mission and had a great time there, so absolutely.
Do you speak to her in their language?
Yes, it was actually quite fun when she got back and she was talking to me in Spanish, and I just thought, wow. 1, she learned the language so well, and then 2, it was like, oh my goodness, I'm talking to my daughter in Spanish. That was just really neat. So I was very happy that she went Spanish speaking, and also because now she can talk to my parents. I mean, my parents know English, but just I don't know, just the fact that she can talk to them in Spanish.
Right,
and they were quite pleased with how well she learned it, and her pronunciation and everything is great. She probably speaks better than I do.
Oh, wow.
Because we kind of learned Spanglish in California, you know, growing up in the school system, learning English. But also, you know, being at home, my mom didn't learn English until, oh gosh, she went to work probably when I was maybe 15. And so she didn't, so we kind of spoke Spanglish in the home. Right. And so, yeah, my grammar's not that great, but you know what? I have lots of clients in Spanish, and it works, and I understand it, and I'm glad that I can use my second language in my work. So
that was another thing I noticed with my children. They started picking up things.
Oh,
They'd
really?
say, how do you say this? And how do you say that, Mom? And people, I can't speak Tree, the language in Ghana, fluently. But they were so impressed that I was trying. I could understand, but I was trying, and it just made them laugh. And so I just kept on going on, you know. And yeah, it was good.
That's fun. Okay, so this is brown a little bit. You see, not every kernel, but just so that you get it a little bit brown. And then what I'm going to do is, for no reason at all, I just make a little hole right here. And I just pour in half of this. You have to be careful because it'll bounce back at you. And then I just take that, and I'm just going to stir it in. Oops.
Wow.
And then I'm going to take this water. Now this is 4 cups of water.
Okay.
And put it in the rice here.
Oh.
So.
Beautiful color.
So I'm going to take this. And then this is going to come to a boil. And then once it comes to a boil, then I'm going to lower the heat. Now every stove is different. So I cook the rice 18 to 20 minutes, but also the heating on the stove is different, so I just do medium to a little bit lower than medium, just because I've just found that
to simmer it?
Right, to simmer it. Okay, now one more ingredient that I forgot was the chicken bouillon. Now this is a matter of preference. I love flavorful food. Sorry, wow, that was a weird one. Flavorful food, but the thing with, it's just a matter of how spicy you want it. This is not spicy, but flavorful, should I say. So I use Knorr chicken bouillon, again, because my mom used that, and I really like it. I like the powder because if you use the cube, sometimes as the, you know, yeah, it kind of gets stuck. Yeah. And so that's not fun. But so this way the flavor distributes correctly and evenly. So I'm going to put 1 tablespoon in, and then because I'm not very good at the etiquette of cooking, I'm going to taste it and see if I like it. And then if I don't like it, I'm going to add more. And if I like it, then I'm just going to leave it the way it is. So here's 1 tablespoon. And again, it's a matter of preference. Some people do this same recipe, and I've tried it, and it doesn't taste like much. And then there's others that, you know, so. But for me, with my kids, we just like everything flavorful, so we just kind of do this. So.
Oh, it smells great so far.
Yeah. Well, it tastes great too, I promise.
Oh, of course. So, I know.
So I just taste it. Okay. I think we should add a little bit more. So I'm going to add a little. I'm going to do half. And just put it in like this. And again, the powder's so nice because it just distributes right into the water.
Right. Dissolves nicely.
Okay.
Like and all that liquid is going to go too. Right.
So let me just try it really quick. Okay, that's good. That's good. You want to try it, or you're good?
Oh, sure. Why not? You know what? I'm going to try it too. Got to know, don't I? Yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
Okay, so this is not quite at a boil, but in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start getting the oil ready for the enchiladas and the sauce. So I'm going to turn on this burner right here.
Do you need this one or this one?
Yeah, both of them.
Oh, okay.
Because what I'm going to do is I'll have the sauce in one and the oil in the other. So did I do that right? Oh, okay. At home I have electric, so I'm not used to the.
But I do love gas.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
For sure.
I remember growing up, we always used gas. Then I came to America, and the first plate we used was electric, and I burnt everything because you would leave things on there, and it's still heating, isn't it? And I didn't realize that. Yeah, my poor husband tried it the first year or so.
Well, we're the same way. We grew up on gas as well, but now I have electric, so it's an adjustment. But
it is.
We can adjust. We're humans.
Now I'm a pro, you know.
Okay, so I'm going to put some oil in this pan right here. And I want to put enough because I'm going to just wet the tortilla in it.
Oh, wow.
In the oil.
So how much? Is that like a cup or?
Probably, but just simply so that it's, if you can see
almost
that
like
right there. But
deep fry.
Yeah, you want enough so that you can just let it swim in there, turn it around, and then bring it out.
Oh, I like that saying, swim in there. That's literally.
Like that? Okay. And then this recipe in enchiladas will make about 20 enchiladas.
Okay, so what's the difference between an enchilada and a burrito or a chimichanga? Or?
Oh gosh, a lot. Yeah. So first of all, a lot of people, Caucasian people, use like the enchiladas and they use flour tortillas and they do all this other stuff. And that's not really an enchilada. But even the enchiladas I'm making, I don't even know if they're as authentic as you would find in Mexico itself. Right. So this is how my mom taught me how to do it. But the burrito, you have like all kinds of ingredients. You could have rice and beans and meat, you know, some kind of salsa in there, and it's all wrapped in a big flour tortilla. A chimichanga is a burrito, but you're actually frying it in the oil, and so that just makes it a chimichanga. But the enchilada itself is just the dipping of the tortilla in the oil and then in the sauce, and then you roll it, which I'll show you in a second. So I'm going to open this up here. This is, okay, now this is a must. Don't get any other brand but Las Palmas. And they have it here at Macey's, so this is perfect. This is perfect because this is by far, to me, the best. Unless you make homemade, which if you have time to, you know, roast the chilies and peel the chilies and then blend the chilies and then cook the chilies, that's amazing. You can do that. But for me, this works best. So I'm going to open this can up of Las Palmas. Now this says, let me just show you, this says salsa chile colorado, means just the red chili sauce. And this can be used for enchiladas, but they also have a green sauce. And so with the green sauce, some people, again, that's a preference, red enchiladas, green enchilada. It's okay. So this is now boiling, so I'm going to give it one more stir, and then I'm going to cover it. Okay. So let me cover it, and then
you're going to turn it.
It's this one, right? Just a little bit down to medium.
No, that's this one.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Thanks. So I think that'll go well.
I like things that are color-coded.
There you go. Okay, so it is almost, let's see. 7:15. So sorry, I just got a new watch, and I'm just glad that I actually looked at it because I forget I have it.
So how many minutes would you need?
20. So we're going to go about 20.
Okay, 20 minutes.
So
okay.
So we are now going to, let's see. So I got these backwards.
So did you get this? You can get this at Macey's too.
Yes, we can.
I have seen these.
And when you're choosing corn tortillas, you want to make sure that they feel soft. Because if you get a package and it's hard, they're old, and you don't want to use those. So you want to make sure that it feels soft and that they're pliable. And so this is, again, we're just frying them, so it doesn't really matter the brand. But you can get this here at Macey, the Don Julio brand. This is just fine.
Did you ever make your own? Did your mom make her own?
She did. Well, she made flour tortillas, which I just made the other day. Yummy. They didn't come out round, but hey, I still could roll my stuff in it. Right. But and then I've made corn, but you need a plancha, which is kind of like a thing that flattens it. Right. The masa, which is the dough, and it never is going to get as thin as this. Oh. But they're still yummy because even though they're kind of thick, you only need like one because they're so yummy and just really filling because they're so thick. Right. So anyway, so I'm going to take these out, and then so I'm going to dip the tortilla in the oil first. And then I'm going to open this up because then I want to dip it here in the sauce.
From the oil to...
Right. Yeah. Now, you could go backwards. The problem with going backwards is that anything wet going into the oil isn't going to splatter. And so that's okay, but it's kind of like the respect for the oil is like, I don't know if I want to do that because that could be kind of scary. But they've done it before. Actually, in Mexico, the kind of cool thing is they have this thing. It's like a sort of a pan, and it's a big round pan, and then it has a bottom center, and they have, somehow they use that, and they put, there we go, see? Sorry. Okay, I'm just put this whole thing.
The fire department is around the corner.
Yeah. Sorry. So that's going to heat up pretty quick. So what happens is they have this big round pan, and it's just really nice because they'll do the, enchiladas in there, and then they set them on the edges. It kind of looks pretty, but it kind of mixes the two, and it gets kind of scary. So I'm going to take some tortillas out. Okay, now I don't know.
You're going to need these again?
I might. Well, if we're just doing a few, probably not. So what I'll do, I'll just take a corner and kind of just drop it in there. And it's sizzling. I don't know if you can see that, but it's sizzling, so I know it's ready. And then before I do that, I'm going to open up here. Can you pass me the cheese and the onions?
Absolutely.
I have pre-grated some cheese and onions.
Does it matter what kind of cheese?
I guess the other cheese, so this is cheddar, but mozzarella is fine too. Sometimes I mix, it's just whatever I have in my fridge.
Right.
But my kids really like cheddar, so I use cheddar a lot. But my mom's used mozzarella before, and it's fine. So I've also pre-chopped the onions. And so
I've got tears today.
No
like
tears.
That. Welcome to Macey's Cooking Corner, and today we have Nancy Larsen, and she is cooking up some Mexican rice and enchiladas. Is that correct?
Yep.
Now, where were we? Where did we?
Okay, so we had set the rice, and now it's cooking. It's been cooking for 10 minutes, and so we're going to let it cook for another 10 minutes. Right. In the meantime, we're going to get the enchiladas going.
Before you do that, right, I made a sinful mistake, and I have to share this with you very quickly. When you're cooking Mexican rice, what should you not do that she didn't tell you?
You should never uncover it. No, it's not a sinful thing, but you just don't uncover it because it just lets the steam out.
Which is whilst it's cooking.
Right.
Just like a cake.
Exactly, yeah. Don't ever open
Done that
the oven.
But
oh, wow, okay.
You're in the past, right? Now.
Okay, forgiven.
Right. Yeah, thank you. Okay, now
okay, so we're going to take these tortillas and we're going to dip them first in the oil, and then we're going to dip them in the enchilada sauce, and then we're going to put them here on this cooking sheet because we're then going to roll them in cheese and onion. Now you could put any kind of meat like shredded chicken or shredded beef in here if you'd like. Again, it's a matter of preference. I've done all of those, and so, but we're just going to use cheese today. So I'm going to take this tortilla. No, let me do this first. So it won't stick, but I always like to just spray my pan with some cooking spray.
You can get this at Macey's too, right?
That's right. I got it here at Macey's, so this is perfect. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray that. Okay. Just so that doesn't stick. Another thing too is that if you're not going to be eating these right away, the fact that you have some cooking spray on here, you can just put foil over it once you've got all your enchiladas rolled up, and then save it for when you're going to actually put it in the oven. And if you bake it in the oven, it should be 350 for 15 minutes, just to kind of get the cheese melted. But since we usually eat them right away, honestly, I can't tell you exactly how long that would be. But, you know, if it's cold in the middle, just put it back in.
That's it.
So, okay, so I'm going to use these tongs. And I'm going to just put the tortilla in here. You see that it's sizzling.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to just turn it over. Now, you don't want to crisp it or anything.
Okay.
Because you want it to be able to roll. Now, this is really hot. So I'm just lower it a little bit. And then I'm going to dip it in here. Now, I'm going to take a different utensil and push this down, the tortilla down, and make sure it's completely submerged. And I'm going to bring it out, and then I'm going to put it on my pan here. Now, usually when I do this, my kids help me. So we've got one working the oil, one working the sauce.
I could do that.
Do you want to help me?
Yes, absolutely.
So let me just show you. So here, we're going to take this, and we're just going to put some cheese on here. Okay. And I'm just going to put it like this. Okay. And then I'm going to take a little bit of onions. Now, again, I make a batch for my children that don't like onions, and a batch for those little two.
So you don't add the onions.
Right. And so I'm just going to take this like this, the forks, and I'm going to roll it and bring it this way so that the seam is down. Now, you want the seam down because it'll unroll if you don't. Okay, so then go that way. And so I'm going to just keep doing that until I've got my pan full.
Pan. So I could do that little bit there.
Okay.
Okay, so watch me cook.
Thank you. So be careful with this, might jump out of your hand.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so then you turn this over. Is that right? So really fast, right?
Right.
Does the bubbles show, or is there
you want to take it out because the longer it is, the toastier it'll be, and then it'll become a tostada instead of enchilada. So. Anyway, so you want to...
Done with that.
But if they do get kind of a little bit hard, it's okay because then you can just leave it in the enchilada sauce a little bit longer. It'll soften it again, but you don't want to have them be crispy.
Okay. So it's literally just a flip over. You're not really leaving them in.
Right. Because the wetness of the oil will make them pliable.
Okay.
And you kind of just turn it. Oops.
I'm going faster than you. Can you see that?
That's okay. That's what usually happens.
Okay.
And that's all right. So.
This is great.
And you'll see that as you put each tortilla in the oil, I mean in the sauce, that it will start to thicken. And sometimes it gets so thick, and you can just add a little bit of water to it. That's okay, to kind of loosen it up a bit.
So does your new, what should I say, your soon-to-be son-in-law love your food?
Of course he does. Everyone loves my food. Yeah, I think so. He hasn't complained, but, you know, I think he's trying to get good marks, so I don't expect him to be complaining at least for a year. So, yeah.
That's right.
So it's really fun making these with my kids because, seriously, they don't last very long, and they just love them. But it's fun to be in the kitchen with my kids.
Right.
They help me out, and I remember in my home, we do the same thing, but the difference is that we'd run off. My mom would make just different things, and I remember her making taquitos with chicken taquitos, and we just run around the house because she didn't want us to eat them until we were completely done, but cooking, that is.
Right.
But we take off and run around, and she'd be like, come back. But with enchiladas, it's a little harder, but when you get a little assembly line, then it goes pretty fast, and so that makes it really nice.
Should I do a few more?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. This is kind of fun. I like this.
Yeah.
This could be my day job, couldn't it? Yes, the enchilada flipper. Yeah, that's right. Do you want those, being one of those trucks? We could start one of those.
There
in
you
your
go.
Spare time, right?
I have always wanted to do a cooking truck.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. I think that would be so fun, doing what you love.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love to cook. When I was in school, I didn't too much because I was so busy. But now that I don't have to do all the studying and writing papers, it's actually been nice to get back into my groove of cooking. So, and I think my kids like it too.
That's right.
So.
No more takeaways.
Right.
No, I actually enjoy starting and finishing up a dinner. Starting from scratch. Not scratch, but, actually cooking for my kids instead of saying, here's a pizza. Mom, this is the 4th day.
We've had pizza. Yeah.
Mac and cheese.
I think the fun part, even though it's kind of frustrating at first, is looking in the pantry and thinking, oh, man, what am I going to make?
Yeah.
And then coming up with something actually pretty good, and the kids are like, singing the Mom is Great song.
Yeah.
So. But,
hey, everything we cook is great, I think.
Yep.
I make my boys say, now how is it? Or my husband will go, oh, it's all right. It's all right. You know how long it's taken me? And so the other day I went, how was it? And he goes, great, fabulous.
Oh, look, he's learning.
That's right. And I didn't even go to say, hey, do you really mean that? I didn't say that or anything because I was like, yes, compliment, and I'm going to take it. Why not, right? You
Absolutely.
deserve it. Okay. Should I do the rest? There's only 2 left.
Sure, let's just go ahead and do it.
That's right. Someone's going to eat it.
Absolutely. So these last ones I'm going to make without onions.
Oh, okay.
Just as a tribute to my son.
Any kind of onions?
Yeah, any kind of
red
onions.
Nah. Any kind?
Oops.
Or just
no,
yellow onion?
Just a yellow onion or the white onion. It really doesn't matter.
Right.
Just kind of adds that extra taste to the enchilada.
I like that. I love onions. I love, in Africa, I brought some, the small onions. Are they shallots?
I don't know.
The small red onions that you can get. And I just love those. And I will.
Are they really flavorful?
They are. And I usually cut up onion. I'll cut them up, chop them up, and then chop up some tomatoes. The big beef tomatoes. And then a little bit of oil, olive oil, and basmati vinegar, and yum. Okay,
Sounds
I think the 20 minutes are up for the rice, Okay. I did it again. Oh my goodness. Can you believe that? I'm just a happy. lid opener, huh?
Okay. All right,
But
let's
it
see.
looked good though.
It look good?
Yes, it did.
It does look good. Okay, so we're going to turn this off, which is this one, right?
Yes.
And then we're just going to move it over right here to the middle because we're almost done here with enchiladas.
Goodness. That's really good. That's so simple.
Oh, absolutely.
In Africa, we do something similar, but you have to stir it and do all this complicated stuff, right?
Is it rice? What is it?
It's rice, long grain rice, and we add tomatoes, but then, I don't know, we just don't know. It's a lot of work. This one, you add the liquid, and that was simple. Don't open the lid, and you're happy. Anyway.
Okay,
wow,
so we're almost done here.
Okay. Oh, shall I turn this oil off now?
Yeah, we can turn that off.
Right.
Okay, and as you can see, we have lots more sauce that we could do more if we wanted to.
So what would you use this with when you have so much leftover sauce, just for next time?
Oh, this? Well, one, I could make more, or two, I put this in, I could make, it's called a guiso, so you kind of just throw whatever you have, maybe some meat and potatoes, onions, bell peppers, and you kind of just cook that all up, and then you put this as a sauce, and that's when I'd put it in a burrito or something like that, and it's so yummy.
Nice.
I've taken that to family things, and it's gone. So here, and then what we do here is once we're done with this, we'll just sprinkle again, like this.
Oh, put the cheese on top.
Yeah, put the cheese on top.
You're going to turn the oven on?
Yeah. Well, we can eat these now, or we can put them in the oven, whichever.
Oh,
and then I'll
what do you usually do?
We usually just eat them.
Just like that?
Yeah, just like this.
Today's the day we're going to eat it just like that.
Yeah, just like this. And then other times, again, if I'm short on time, I'll just put them in the microwave and just really quickly get them heated up. And that works too. And so then I just sprinkle a little bit because it has cheese in the middle. I'm not going to over sprinkle. If it had chicken, in it, then I would put more cheese on it. But because it's got cheese in it, then it doesn't need to be overdone on the top.
Lovely.
So that's what they normally look like.
Nice.
And then
like it.
So let me see. Let me open this rice and see. It's a little bit warm. I'll just make sure I'm okay. Oh. So you see the rice is a little red.
Yes.
Well, actually an orangish color, but and so you want to just, and you see that there's these big chunks, so whoever wants them can eat them, or they just.
Beautiful.
So I'll take the plate here, and I will, let me see if I have a serving spoon here. And you'll see that the rice, you know, it's been cooked all the way through. So I'm going to go ahead and take a spoonful like this. Just put it here on the side, break it up. And again, if someone likes the bell pepper, I'll go ahead and put this like this, throw in an onion.
It's good garnish as well. I like that.
I think so.
Good way to present it.
There we go. And then I'll just take one of these enchiladas. Now you can, when you're cooking enchiladas, and you could stack them, but only stack them too high, because if you do anything more than that, then they'll just get mushy. So you want to make sure that you no more than too high, and then you'll just sprinkle it. You just put it on the side right here, and then oftentimes what I'll do is I have some lettuce that I just kind of cut finely, and I'll put
any kind of lettuce.
Any kind, again, whatever you have, and I'll just put this on like this. And then I will take also some sour cream, and I'll just put a dollop of sour cream on here. Again, you can also get this at Macey's. And then just kind of go like that. And there you have it.
Wow. Let's see.
So,
show everyone. Oh, look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Very fast, children friendly. And I think the audience are loving it as well. Well, thank you so much, Nancy. This has been a delightful moment, and I'm going to taste it as well before I.
Please do.
Oh, excuse me, darling. Let's change over.
Okay.
That's right. Oh, you know what? I need a. Anyway, you can use a knife. In England, I'm so used to etiquette. You should have a knife, always in my left hand, you know. But it's okay. We can do this. So you do the lettuce. I'm not a sour cream person, so I don't need sour cream, right? Is that okay?
Wow, it's up to
you.
you.
Upset, will you? No, really, that is really good. My favorite part is the rice. Okay. You must eat with me.
Oh, okay.
Please.
Let me grab that one.
we do it the Mexican way. Don't you eat together?
Yeah, and we use our hands, so.
Oh, do you? Yes, we do as well, but, you know, Spanish fork, right?
Let's see.
The rice.
It's good.
Perfect. The flavoring, the tomato, everything. Actually, I would have liked it a little bit more spicy. Do you do it more spicy? Depending on...
More the flavorful than the spicy, but if you wanted to put a kick in this, when you're sauteing the onion and the bell pepper, just take a serrano chili or a jalapeno and you saute it with it.
With
and
the rice?
It'll give it a kick. Yeah.
Absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much, Nancy. This has been a pleasure. Thank you all for being here today. And this is Afro Danes and Nancy Larsen at Macey's Cooking Corner. We'll see you next week.